We India should expect more spend on infrastructure, defense, and it would be a budget which will be pro poor as usual it would be. And for the common man we can expect certain more deduction, like if they are going for an EV vehicles. So if I see the ultra rich class, so there would be certain twinkering in the surcharge rate. And lastly, there would be something might be for the woman and senior citizen. India should expect more spend on infrastructure, defense, and it would be a budget which will be pro poor as usual it would be. And coming to the second part regarding the common man, for common man I guess the slab rates were already reduced last budget, so this year we can't expect much for the common man, but definitely there will be twinkering in certain sections like ATC, ATD, or there can be any additional deduction in housing loan or some or the other here or there twinkering. Not much for the common man because it's already been done in the last year's budget, where the government has given up to 12 lakh rupees no income tax for everyone. See, from April 2026, the new income tax act will come into the picture. So already they have given much more benefits during last year, and for the common man, we can expect certain more deduction, like if they are going for, an EV vehicle. So government may come out with the new scheme on EV that you get certain more deduction if you opt for the EV vehicle. Or, if the deduction might get increased in ATC, ATD, something like that, but not a big bang change. So if I see the ultra rich class, so there would be certain twinkering in the surcharge rate. The surcharge rates are too high for them, so effectively they pay ideally 42% as a tax outgo on their income. So what we foresee is in budget, we can expect that the higher slab, which is 30%, which is starting from 25 lakhs, would be pushed to 35 or 40 lakhs. So the people who are in higher tax bracket might get some benefit. The people who are in lower tax bracket are already getting a lot more benefit. So if you see overall, there were around 7 crore people who had filed income tax return. So for this financial year, I'm sure out of that 7 crore, 5 crore people will not have any tax liability, even if they file their income tax return. So there would be less than 2 crore individual who would be actually paying the tax, because the overall exemption limit has been increased to 12 lakh rupees. So middle class, a large chunk of the middle class won't fall under the tax bracket. So what government will ideally do is make new tax regime more attractive, so that 95% of the taxpayers start filing under the new tax regime. And once that thing is achieved, maybe in the next year, then the year after next, they will scrap the old tax regime, saying that no one is filing under old tax regime. As such, it's not that beneficial, so they will ultimately scrap it. But this year it would be too early. Am I expecting in next budget they will scrap it? I guess on social media many people have put their request and are expecting that there would be some twinkering. But if I see the ground reality, I guess government might not twinker into it. They might not increase the rate, but they might not reduce it either, considering during the year the tax collection growth have not been that great. It's been stagnant, so government won't reduce the tax, but it won't increase either. If I categorize into top five, the number one would be more spend on infrastructure, the most spend on research and development, also under road construction. The subsidies would be again a bit higher to the poor class, and the slab rates, only the higher slab rates which might get changed, and overall 42% will come down to around 38 or 39% tax rate for the rich class. For the middle class, I guess the government may increase standard deduction by another 50,000. So the 12 lakh rupee no tax would go to 13 or 14 lakh rupee zero tax for the next year. And lastly, there will be something might be for the woman and senior citizen. For senior citizen, you can expect a certain more concession in the coming budget.